Hello guys, this is Sogfrog. I'm going to post this video up as a response to a user on the Decipher forums. I believe his name was Croton. But anyways, he had some questions about fight cards and about card rarity, so I just want to take a minute and talk to you guys about that type of stuff. So first of all, let's take a look at the three different types of fight cards we have. We have the red type, or the physical type, and you know it's a physical type fight card because the very center tab is red and it says physical. So this is a physical fight card. The next type of card you have is a mental fight card. It is orange, and you can see it is a mental fight card because the center tab is orange and it says mental. And carrying on with the last, purple, and the center tab is purple and it says spiritual. Okay, so now how does this relate to characters, and which fight cards should you pick for certain characters? I am glad you asked. Well, first thing that you want to do is you want to look at your character's skirmish bonuses right above their head or in the top center of the card. And for example, with Hannibal Lecter, you see he has 2 orange fist icons and 1 red fist icon. Now these are his center skirmish modifiers. This is and this kind of drives which fight cards you want to play. I said Hannibal Lecter has 2 orange center skirmish bonuses, or 2 orange fists there. So that means that every time he is in a he's in a mental fight, he's going to add 2 to the center tab. 2 orange fists, he adds 2 to orange center tabs. Pretty easy, right? Now, since he only has 1 red fist there, that means that every time he is in a red fight or a physical fight, he's going to add just 1 to that. So for this center tab right here that is red, he's going to add 1, making this 5. Okay, so you can see that Hannibal Lecter isn't as good with spiritual cards. He doesn't have any spiritual bonuses. So if he was to get into a spiritual fight, he doesn't add anything to the center of the card, right? So just based off of looking at his fist icons, his center skirmish tab modifiers, you can see that he does well mainly with the physical type fight card and the mental fight cards. So if I was to make a fight stack for Hannibal Lecter, it would look something like this. The first thing I'd want to do is I'd want to take his 3 specific fight cards. I can have no more than 3 in there, right? Because it is a uncommon card, and I can have 3 of any uncommon and 3 of any common. And there's one exception to this rule we'll talk about after we finish building this stack. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to go through and I want to add some mental cards, some orange fight cards, because he has these orange center skirmish tab bonuses, so he does well with those type of cards. So I add an M12. M12 is a rare, so I can only have 1 of it in there. I add 3 of M11. It is a common. And I add M5 and M6. They're both commons. You can see that all these cards are mental, so that means he's going to get a pretty good bonus in the center skirmish for all of those fight cards. Now also, Hannibal Lecter has this text right down here that says if you want to fight with a physical fight card, that fight card scores double damage. So he does something well with physical or red fight cards. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in these 3 physical fight cards in hopes that I can get one of these to score, thus scoring double damage. Now there's 12 fight cards in all. Once again, I threw in his 3 specific fight cards. I threw in a bunch of mental fight cards. And then I threw in these 3 physical fight cards, making up the 12 fight cards that I'll use for that fight stack. It's a pretty vanilla deck, but hey, it works. Okay, so the other question that Croton had was, how do you tell the rarity of a card? And this is insanely simple. So I hope all of you guys, I hope this will confuse you no longer. All right, so let's zoom into a card. All right, this card right here, we have S6, and you can see at the bottom it says, we see a 1 TAC U TAC 98 right there in the lower right hand corner. Sorry, I'm moving around. That U means it's uncommon. All right, let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at Hannibal Lecter. It says 1-R-51. That R right there means that this card is rare. That's it. And let's look at a common. You can see that P11 2-C-97, that C means it's common. So all you have to do, let me zoom back into the table again. All you have to do to tell if a card is common, uncommon, or rare is just look down in the lower right hand corner and you can see everything about the card. In fact, let me bring up one of these again just so we can go over these numbers. Now, this right here is 2-C-97. That means the first number is the set that this card came out of. So 2. This card is part of the 2 set. C is the rarity, and 97 is the actual number of the card in that set. So this is the 97th card in that set. Alright, so that shouldn't be too hard. Just remember, if you have any questions, look down in the lower right hand side of the card and you can find the rarity. And also when it comes to building a deck and picking between these 3 different colored cards, if all else fails, just look at your center skirmish tab bonuses and try to throw in fight cards that that allow your character card to complement them. One last bit of advice is if you are just completely confused, go onto the Decipher website, download the 2 starter decks. There's a T1000 deck and a Terminator deck. Download both of those, print them out, and play with those a little bit to get used to that mix. Then once you get used to playing with those 2 decks, go ahead and build your own decks. But in the meantime, just try to get the hang of the game. Just try to learn the game before you really get into building a deck, especially if this is your first card game. All right, the very last thing that I totally forgot to mention earlier is gold fight cards right here. We have, this is S6. S6 is a gold fight card or a gold fist icon. Now the restriction for these is, let's say that you have 12 fight cards, right? This is my fight stack. I can only have, in this entire fight stack, I can only have 3 cards with gold fist icons. That means I could have these 3 in there, or one of another card, one of another card, one of another card. Either way, out of all of the cards in my fight stack, I can only have 3 gold fists in that entire stack. Okay, so that kind of adds to the whole 3-3-1 thing. Remember, you can have up to 3 commons, up to 3 uncommons, 1 rare, and then you can only have 3 gold fists in your fight stack. All right, so that does it. Let me know if there are any additional questions. But anyways, that's all for now. Take it easy.